What's the fun with driving something that could slam you into a wall and kill you?
So,
It's kind of like, it's a two-way street.
now, do you think you have more control of a boat than you do a car?
I feel like you have a lot less that you have to worry about when you're in a boat when it comes to purely just
Based off other
moving
people.
around.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because there's a
People
lot
are
more
idiots
distance.
on the road. Have people been getting worse with this COVID-19 thing and
I don't think so.
driving? Have you been driving on the highways?
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely.
People are ridiculous. They want to go everywhere so fast. Do you not notice it?
I mean, I feel like it's always kind of been people just trying to boost around. I don't think it's really changed that much. But I feel like I'm on the highway less, so I notice it more.
I would relate it to when I was in Detroit. When you're in Detroit, there's people going 85 past you the entire time. You're going on a 50. It's a 55. The road is a 55. There's guardrails on each side, and there's cops everywhere.
And people are
And
just
people are
boosting.
going 85, 90, 100, 110 past you. It's ridiculous.
Like regularly?
It's all the time.
Oh my
24
God.
hours a day, bro. It's ridiculous. It's hilarious.
I've never been to Detroit.
And so when I go out in this, now I'm driving to Akron, and I'm like, dude, I'm getting blown by pickup trucks and stuff. I'm like, what the hell is going on, dude? People are in a rush to get everywhere, especially on the way home from work.
I've seen more people cutting people off. I've seen a lot of people like skirting around the lanes more than like they used to.
I don't know. I feel like with all the stuff going on around the, media
I feel like people
and
are-
everything, people are just like, "Alright, I'm gonna have fun with fireworks. I'm gonna do illegal stuff. Why not?"
Yeah, definitely. But like, I think people are also driving a lot more recklessly because I feel like now since like there is that aspect and like a cop might not pull you over because like he has to think about COVID, like you were saying. Like I feel like now people have a lot lesser chance of getting pulled over just because I feel like the cops are being held to a different standard due to everything.
I had talked with the cop at a gas station like mid-COVID, and he was saying he was getting so many tickets because people are speeding like crazy. He was like hyped. He was like, dude, this is awesome. He's like, people are flying. I'm getting he's like,
I caught 15 people today going 100 plus.
for real. He's like, I've never caught this many people speeding in my entire life. And so I get it. They might not pull you over, but Stadies? Do you think a Stadie's not going to pull you over for COVID?
No, Stadies are going to pull you over
Stadies are
because
5
they want to
minutes
pull
and
you
you're
over.
out the door. Go have your ticket, sir. Have a nice day. It's
Fact.
not a big deal. So, like, I don't know. If a cop is really scared about COVID, then
Yeah, he might not, but I feel like the majority of them
yeah,
probably.
the majority of them are probably racking out their dough. They're probably making overtime or not overtime, but
Do they get compensated for
for
like
ticketing?
Yeah, or do they do? I'm pretty sure they're not held to a quota because that was like a myth that I learned that like basically if a cop wasn't pulling enough people over, they would like lose their job or get something.
Yeah, but I mean,
I don't think that's true though because you can't like
enforce someone to do their job,
Yeah,
guys.
enforce
Nowadays,
someone-
come on.
But I'm saying enforce someone
to arrest people.
Yeah, to pick people out for who've broken the law.
I'm looking it up. If police officers get compensated for ticketing,
I don't think they do.
Yeah, I doubt it. Because if they did, there'd be a lot of cops out there just snagging people left and right. Or at least that's what I think.
I don't know if I'm ever gonna find a valid source on it, but I feel like there has to be an incentive
To do your job.
to do
and
your
pull
job.
people over.
I mean, it is their job, is it not? And so if you didn't do your job,
What do you get paid for it? No. I
if
guess.
they're just not paying attention, they're not gonna find anyone. So they have to have some sort of rule to go by. But
I don't know, dude. I've only had a couple. The only encounters I've ever had with police haven't been that bad. And it's just been like really stupid shit, like a noise complaint or getting in a very minor car accident where someone rear-ended me or
never anything.
yeah, never anything like you're getting screwed over. Yeah,
No
like
neck, no neck
no,
whipping.
No, like totaling my car. Nothing too nuts. So like I don't know. I think every time I've encountered the cops where they've had to like practice the law, they've been relatively relatively fair. But one time though, I got pulled over for having my brights on. That kind of shocked me. Like, I have no
That's
idea.
weird.
Yeah, I was passing Brandywine. It was like right before the new year. I think it was like it was like probably like the 28th or like the 29th. And I had gotten off work earlier that day and I was going back to ski. And I remember, like, I was going down Boston Mills Road, which is like this really windy back road that not many people are on. And it was pretty dark out, so I made sure to have my brights on just because I was skepa hitting a deer because
Makes sense,
there's a
right?
lot of deer on that road. And I took a left, forgetting to turn my brights off. The second I saw a car coming towards me, I turned them off. It was literally like an instant.
Yeah.
But this cop fucking turns around, throws them on, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, at first I like started to slow down. I was like, no way is this dude fucking pulling me over.
Bruh.
But then he like, kept up, and I was like, oh Jesus. I pull over and he's like, where are you going tonight, son? Like, kind of like aggressively, and I was like, I'm going to ski. He's like, you had your brights on? I was like, yeah, I'm sorry, I turned them off right away. And he's like, you shouldn't have your brights on when you're driving down the road. I'm like, the fuck? Like, I was like, yeah, what? Yeah, I'm like, what merit do you have to pull me over for having my fucking brights on?
Dude.
No, I didn't get a ticket. Nothing happened, but I was just
You
like...
shouldn't have had your brights on, Richie.
Yeah, no, I guess I didn't have my brights on.
What in the world?
But that was the only time I ever had an interaction with a cop that was like, this is kind of unnecessary.
That is unnecessary. I've had a couple. I got pulled over for riding too close to the white line. Too close.
Too close to the
white... On the other side of the road.
Yeah.
Not even the yellow line. Too close to the white.
The dot.
Not even on it. Not even on the white line. I got pulled over for being too close. Okay. Yeah, that was a bad one.
Was he pissed?
No, this was going over a hill. I was on the right side of the road. In America, we drive on the right side of the road. So if you're on the right side, you're farthest away from the opposite lane of traffic. I was on the far side of the road, going over a hill in the middle of the night, which would be pretty common for most people. They don't want to get hit head on by someone that's drunk driving going over a hill in the middle of the road, right? So you would ride the right of the road all night just so... I learned it from my safety instructor from driving school. And when I got pulled over, I just wanted to look at the officer and say, Mr. Malarkey taught me to drive on the right side of the road.
That's where you should be if you're anywhere on the road.
Because
you're furthest away from
oncoming
traffic.
There was a girl in our high school that got hit going over a hill at night, got hit head on by a drunk driver, and got killed in a car of like 4 people. So why would I not drive on the right side of the road going over a hill at night? I don't understand that. And so I got pulled over, and that was bad. I also got pulled over on my street bike going 15 over, and the cop had me on the ground, pulled his gun on me.
What?
Had my book bag on the concrete sprayed open.
I never heard this story.
No?
No.
Oh, that was Parma police.
Oh my god. 15 over and he
I was going like... What was it? I was going like 51 and a 35. So I was like 16 over.
Yeah, and it's a 35 zone, so it's not like it's...
And on my... this is in no way justification, but on my street bike, I don't know what speed I'm going because when it says I'm going 35, it's actually somewhere around 50.
Because if you...
my speedo's just off.
Oh.
It's just off. I don't know if the dude before me put a different sprocket or whatnot, but it's just off. And so, it just doesn't read the right speed. So I don't know how fast I'm going. If I'm going 30, I'm probably going 45. So I'm going, what he said was 51 or something like that. I pull off to the side on this intersection, and he just walks out. He's like, he was hand on, he didn't pull until he was like very suspicious the entire time with it on it, and he was like asking me weird questions. I was like, I'm coming from school, officer. Like, do you want me to take my helmet off? He's like, no, don't move. I'm like, I'm not gonna shoot you. I'm coming from school. I get it that they have to be concerned about it, but I don't understand treating every single person like a criminal until they're non-compliant.
Yeah.
I feel like every person, not every person, but most times you're gonna have someone that's non-compliant, and then they're gonna be like, oh, this dude's being a jerk. He might shoot me. Yeah. You don't have to see everyone use and say, oh, guy might shoot me.
You can't go into every single encounter with someone that's like breaking the law.
I mean,
being like
Parma's a decent place too. It's not.
It's not like a burnt or like a rundown.
Look
neighborhood.
at me. What am I gonna do?
Yeah,
What am I gonna? He's like 45 years old and a big guy. What am I gonna do with him?
So like he literally pulled his gun on you and like made you get down on the ground.
He had me like lay on the sidewalk and he was looking through my backpack and he's taking stuff out and laying it on the sidewalk and at first he was like, I was like, can I take my gloves off? And he's like, just hang on, don't do anything, don't move. And I'm just like chilling there like, okay. And then he had me eventually he had me like take my helmet off and stuff like that, but it was all like so controlled. He was like needed to control the scenario. I get it, but seemed a little aggressive.
Yeah, no, that's
A little
fucking nuts, dude.
interesting, right? Yeah.
It's like it's also the other time that we got involved with the cops with the sound complaint was at John's property.
Dude, that was
one cop, the one that yelled at me, who's saying I was breaking the law because I wasn't telling the truth, but I was telling the complete and honest truth.
Yeah.
That was so annoying.
I don't remember that exact part, but that
he
was
like tried
a
to
very
out me.
Interesting time.
Like it was like right after he gave this like
Okay, so
10-minute
let me
speech.
get So you said he was trying to out you. Let me explain a little of the story.
Yeah.
So what happened was all of our high school buddies were chilling at this property that our friend owned, and it was a field, basically a farmer's field, and they rented it out, and then they still own the property though. So we were allowed to go anywhere that was pretty much not on the field. And so we were in the very back of this huge field.
Yeah, and there was a field on one side, and then there was a little grass portion. There was a whole other field.
Right.
Massive
Okay,
property.
so yeah, it's a driveway in the middle of two fields, and you pull down the driveway, go off onto one of the fields, and follow it to the back, and there's this like camping spot we had set up, and we were chilling there for all day, and no issues until
I pulled up.
I forgot it
pulled
was
up.
you. This kid. So
After
we were chilling there
homecoming.
having a fire. We were a little younger, and some
Going
people
around.
may or may not had some things like that were not right at the time. And so we're all in the back of these woods, and this kid pulls up.
I pull up after homecoming. I had a horrible day. I had someone rear-end my car. Homecoming was a disaster. Pictures were awful. Like, it was just a shit experience.
Not Richie's day.
Not my day. And then I decided to come to the. I was like, all right, I'm just, nothing could go wrong. Nothing could go wrong hanging out with my friends and having this bonfire or this camping camping, thing. Experience that we had been planning for a while.
Post homecoming rager.
Yeah, pretty much.
In the woods with all the homies.
With
Everyone
a bunch
was
of
there.
stuff.
There were like 20 people there.
A bunch of
dude. It was
random
like,
shit. Guitars, banana suits.
dude, yes, it was fun. And so all of a sudden Richie pulls up and he's like in the middle of the road calling people, trying to figure out where to go.
I didn't know where the property was because it was my first time going there.
I get it. Rookie mistake. But so basically Richie was sitting in the road for long enough for the neighbors to come outside, and then when they did,
A couple of the people who came.
yeah, our friend's cousin was there, and he was saying, he was talking back with them, and apparently the parents didn't like that. I don't know exactly what he said. I don't think he said anything wrong either.
Yeah, it was just two dudes on one side of the street yelling at me in the middle of the street and a couple of people across the street.
Yeah, so the people across the street were like really young or something like that, and
yeah,
he said that they couldn't come to our party. He said like, you wish, or something like that.
Yeah. You
So,
wish
like,
you were cool enough to.
yeah,
That's what it
yeah,
was.
He said,
yeah.
like, you wish you were cool enough to come to our party, and I think it was the neighbors called the police, or someone called someone.
Yeah,
had
the
to-
neighbors called the police. They called
Someone
the police.
had
on
to
us.
call the police. It had to be them after that experience. There was no one else for at least 500, 600, 700 feet up the road, and we were so far back in the woods that was the only relevant house, really.
Yeah, but then, so I'm there. I show up. I'm there for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
We're all chilling back at the campfire. We were like walking around in some other portion, just like gooning around. And I remember it was me and like 3 other people and my current girlfriend. and we were just like sitting up there looking down back at like the road that led up to this like little like barn that there was, and we kept seeing lights. We kept seeing spotlights.
Yeah.
And we were just like, what is that a spotlight? Like, no way. There's no way there cops are here. Like, we did nothing wrong. There's no reason cops would be here. So then we walk back down to the campsite, and literally like 2 minutes later, I had been at the property for like 30 minutes. We see the lights. And like 3 cars just pull up right to where we were. And I remember one of my friends just like, all right, gotta act normal, grabs a hot dog, throws it on a stick, and just starts cooking it.
It was not like GTA. They did not stay on the road. They went right off road, right to the back, right where we were, and they pulled up in the grass. We were like, huh, that's so fishy, huh?
But the thing is, so they come over there and immediately just start searching us. They didn't read us any rights. They didn't ask us any questions. They immediately just started tearing through our stuff. And like, we were completely respectful. We like the cops came over and they say, "Hey, what's going on?"
Yeah.
And we're just like, "Oh, nothing, just camping." And they start searching everything and find the beer that we said we found on the side of the road, which is just about the best excuse the host of the party and camping could have came up with, being in the state that he was in, because he was the most fucked up out of anyone.
Where'd you find it, son?
On the side of the road.
Found it on the side of the road.
This is like post him like barely being conscious, sitting in like a chair, and then the cop was like, "You can't sit down." He went and sat down anyway, and then he ended up spewing right in front of him.
I have to sit down. He's like, "I'm not gonna sit down." What do you mean? I can't sit down, officer. It was so good.
That was, but so after like these cops started searching and found things that we shouldn't have had, they're like, all right, the one cop started to lecture us, saying that we had all broken the law and we're all gonna get charged for blah 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 blah.
No, but actually my dad was very upset too, because there were officers there that were telling everyone that if they gave out their info and if they showed the cops what they had hidden and stuff like that, that they were gonna get off free.
Yep.
And there were so many cops there saying, there were like 4 cops there at the end of the night, I would say. But they were saying the entire time, and my dad, they had us all call our parents.
Yep.
And so we're all in this driveway area, and the police are there, and we're all getting our the flashlight in the face, and they're tracking our eyes and stuff. Yes. And for every single person, they're probably just saying, "Oh, you're messed up. You're messed up," because that's what they did to me. And my dad was like,
"You can't prove anything with the flashlight."
Well, yeah, no, not at all.
But so back to it, I was sitting there, and after this dude finished his like little 15-minute lecture that he had given to us about how we're all criminals, and if you don't answer honestly, you're gonna get screwed.
Charged.
So he comes up to me. I hadn't done shit. I'd been there for 30 minutes, and I was literally just like so scared, because it was like one of my first time dealing with cops whilst being in a situation where something was going down.
It was a weird situation.
Yeah. And the cop asked me, he said, "Son, have you had anything to drink tonight?" And I said, "No, sir, I haven't." And then immediately he just, "You're breaking the law. You're not telling that. You're lying to an officer." And I'm sitting there like, God damn, bro. You think this is going to make me lie and basically self-incriminate myself into something I didn't even do?
Yeah.
And it was like, I was just like, bro, you're literally just on a power trip. The other 2 cops that were there initially were just like cracking jokes and pointing stupid shit out that was going on. Like, they were like, these are a bunch of kids having a camping trip and just screwing around. Like, they did it too.
Right.
And it was just absurd. I hated the fact that one cop had to be such a dick, but I mean,
it was really weird too, because it was based off, like, if you told on yourself, you had to go to court, and they sent you. It was how many months later? Like
6 or 7 months.
Like,
it was literally a week
time.
away from being dropped.
Yeah, it was, like he said, a week away from being dropped, and they sent out all these letters that said kids had court dates.
Yep.
And it was like all these.
It was shock.
It was random though, because some kids that admitted to it didn't have court dates, and then random ones that didn't admit really anything had court dates.
Yeah.
It was like completely.
It made no sense how they decided to charge any of us.
No sense.
They just, it literally seemed as if they had just picked half of us and said, these kids are getting charged and these ones aren't.
Yeah, it seemed very much like that. Like, whoever, did you get charged?
No. I got nothing.
I think whoever really just was like, I'm not saying any, because I didn't say anything. What am I gonna tell him?
Yeah, no.
Dude, oh yeah, I got a case of beer in the back. What? That's stupid. So,
No.
I got off. I know some of my friends that didn't give anything away didn't get off though.
Mhm.
So I don't understand how I didn't get charged.
It made no sense who they chose to charge, but man, those are the only two interactions with cops that were fucked up.
Yeah.
I'm glad that nothing came out of it. Like, besides, like, we were all young and it all got like expunged from our records once we turned, 18. But Jesus, why do we always end up talking about the illegal